What are you happy about right now? That I get paid tomorrow so I can finally go do some groceries. It's been a rough week. It's kind of the only thing keeping me going right now. Edit. Thanks for the kind words, guys. I'm not starving enough to ask for help right now. I'll be fine tomorrow. Just knowing there's other people out there who get it is enough. The wife and I both have health problems, nothing major, but we have a really nice teen come over to do yard work. Last time he was here, he mentioned he had to walk into town as his mom's car was overheating. This morning my wife picked him up to do some mowing and weeding. When he was done she asked if his mom's car was running, to which he replied they hadn't even tried to start it. My wife asked if I would take him home and take a look at the car. I did so, and it was just a matter of low radiator fluid, but that mom had been afraid to mess something up. I filled the radiator and overflow tank, had them start the car, and hung out till the car warmed to operating temp. No biggie, but they were both so thrilled to have it running again, and be able to drive for groceries. It still has me happy hours later. I don't know where or applying, but one thing that my dad keeps telling me, and it really is true, it's not the smart people who excel at collage, it's the hard-working ones. So keep working hard, keep studying, and remember it's all just soaking up knowledge and trying to be the best that you can, so don't put too much pressure on yourself if there are factors you can't control. Can one bad semester ruin you? I had a terrible semester for my first ever semester in college and it ruined my GPA significantly. Just wanted to know. No, it can. It surely can affect you for a short period of time, if you're applying to scholarships etc., but keep in mind that a GPA can go up. In my personal opinion, GPA doesn't really represent much except some numbers on a paper. Things like knowledge that sticks around in your head, or ability to use it and work under pressure is more relevant than our grades. One bad semester doesn't shape you as a person or as a student, and things in the past surely can't be allowed to influence your attitude towards your vision of yourself now and in the future. So have an idea of where you want to be and what you want to be and just slowly work for it. Try planning things out. Organizing your time and having a schedule will help you a lot in your productivity and increase your general ability to perform. Sorry for the crooked sentences, it's been a long day, and keep in mind I'm just a med student here too. Thank you for this. I had a terrible semester when I first started college because I still had that high school mentality. I slacked off in high school, did assignments until the last moment, and only studied for like a day, yet I still excelled in high school. I brought that same mentality and habits to college. For the first few weeks it went alright, but then all went to shit. I do not want to make the same mistake, so I am trying my best to change. I keep reminding myself about the terrible semester, so it's constantly on my mind and hindering my growth. But, now I plan on not letting that stop me. Thanks for the advice once again, smile. I don't know about being a doctor, but I had a 2.1 GPA after my first semester of college. I left for an internship that second semester at a big N company, worked hard there, got another internship for the summer, and then took stock of my life. When I got back to college I treated it like a job. I studied, went to class, organized study groups for harder classes, fuck you electronics design, fuck you, and made sure to be in constant contact with my professors. I graduated with a 3.51, which set me up in case I wanted to do a PhD or master's in my field, and meant any MBA program I applied for I would be a strong candidate. It's not impossible to come back from the bullshit, but it is very hard work and you'll constantly have people ask about why your grades were like that your first semester. Google for instance made me write an essay. Google and electronics design can fuck right the hell off. It depends from each university, but usually, they have credits set for each course or semester with emphasis towards the end years. At the end though, your transcript isn't that important. If you're passing, have good social skills and show true interest in what you're learning to your superiors, nobody would think twice before accepting you. They matter, but they're not the end of the world. It happens. I had a few bad semesters, but I spent my final year in undergrad doing my best to fix things, was able to get a 4.0 my last 2 semesters. I think the best thing for you to do is learn from your mistakes and see what you can do going forward. For me, my mistakes were neglecting to take care of myself and trying to do everything at once. I made it a point to unwind/relax, and once I did, I saw improvement. And at the end of the day, if you still do poorly on an exam despite giving it your best, don't worry about it too much. Applying to med school is much more than having good grades. It's scary how long we can go without doctors listening to or understanding us, then one day to suddenly have the answer and healing can finally begin. I hope you do well, friend. Would like to add, as a doctor in training, it's maybe equally scary how little we know. We'll often see patients and just don't know what's wrong. Not defending doctors that don't listen to their patients and fully explore pain, because I know physicians like that exist and are unfortunately very common. As a patient with chronic pain, I'm much happier hearing "I don't know, but we'll keep trying to figure it out" or some variation of that than a passive-aggressive version of "suck it up," or "you are faking it." I can appreciate any doctor who is willing to say they don't know. A lot of us understand you can't possibly know everything. Also, thanks for not being one of those doctors who takes the easy way out of just giving up or assuming nothing can be done. I move into my first apartment in 2 days. Finally feeling grown-up. Smile. Edit. I'm getting so many lovely replies of people also taking this big step. I'm so happy for every one of you. And big thanks to those giving some tips. I'll definitely keep them in mind. Also, whoever gave me the award, I'm flattered. Smile. Awesome. It's a great feeling of freedom. Smile. But tip: take photos of all problems in the apartment. Holes in the furniture, mold, etc. etc. Some bad landlords try to pin it on their renters when they move, so they don't have to give the deposit back. If something breaks, like the washer or fridge, it's the owner's job to replace them unless you bought your own. So many things. I've done 8 months of therapy and stuck with it. I'm on antidepressants which have significantly changed my motivation levels in a good way. I've gotten a personal trainer about 2 weeks ago and have been working out 6 days a week for at least 2 hours a day. After 3 years of not being in a serious relationship, I asked a girl out whom I have been crushing on for 2 years to find out the feelings were mutual, and lastly I reapplied to community college after dropping out 4 years ago. I start in 2 weeks. Life is really good right now. 8 to 10 months ago I was at my lowest point with depression. I felt very alone and could not muster the energy to get out of bed or go to work. I just wanted to sleep forever. I'm so much happier now and hope to keep this trend going. I remodel old buildings and don't have anybody to help me except an electrician that gives me a hand when he is scheduled to run wire. He's a cool dude and I have nobody to help. I'm so happy to know him. He does a great job and he's fun to work with. Thanks Op for this positive thought. I'm doing this now, too. I worked as an architect for several years, but it was extremely toxic. I'd also make the 3D renders myself. The customers wouldn't like some stuff and would make me change the plans without paying an extra fee. I'd end up wasting a lot of time changing the plans over and over for a single customer. My last job was a villa. I had drawn the plans and stayed on the construction site to make sure everything was going on well. We were just done setting up the walls after finishing the skeleton frames. I took a day off and when I came back the next day there was a wall at the place where the balcony was supposed to be. How can not you see a giant balcony? Left that job after that villa was done and started renovating old houses. Much more relaxing and stress-free. Chances of something going wrong is pretty low too. Happy someone can relate. Sometimes it can feel impossible without the right talent. And all that's going on in the world makes me lonely, and I still have to finish the work by myself. I'm so happy for an electrician to pay that knows enough and a joy to hang with. I took a gamble, left a comfortable job despite being newly married, moved back into my parents with my wife and got into medical school near their house. When I was moving, I thought I might be able to squeeze in 1 day a week working in my previous job, long drive, but actually have managed 2 days most of the course, which has left me debt-free. UK. Basically medical school isn't as intense when it is an exam period. You can work. I'm lucky to still have a foot in the door in my previous well-paid job. I genuinely am so lucky and grateful. I guess the reason I'm sharing this is to say if you've got a good job but don't like it, you can join another career without completely abandoning the old one. Also, if you don't have good paying job, I hope you can find one soon.